Hi everyone. So in the last video we have seen how to create the resources. So I think now you are perfect in creating the resources. You know how to create a virtual network, a virtual machine, and how to create the storage account or any other resources whenever you want to create it. You know how to do that. Because I have uploaded 2-3 videos on that, how to refer to the resources inside the Terraform code, you also know that. So now today the topic of discussion is like I'm going to discuss on the Terraform state file. So what is this state file and what is the need of this state file? Why we need a Terraform state file? So basically whenever you create any resources in the Terraform, then a state file gets created. So actually what is this state file? So the Terraform state file stores the state of infrastructure which we create from the Terraform files. So let's say you created a virtual machine. So is this virtual machine still alive or not? The state file will hold that information. If you create a resource group, then whatever the information is available related to the resource group, the name of the resource group and the location of the resource group, each and every information of that resource will be stored in this state file in the JSON format. It uses the JSON language to store the information of your state file. So it means whenever we create any resources using Terraform, then the Terraform also stores the information of the resources in the Terraform state files. Okay, so it stores the information about the resources that are currently live in the cloud environment. So what do I mean to say with this statement? Let me show you. So let's say I want to create a resource group. This is the resource group. Let me delete all other codes. Let me delete everything. I just want to create a resource group. So let me save this. So when I create this resource group, then the resource information related to this resource group, whatever is available for this resource group, the name, location, whatever details available for this resource group, that resource information will be stored in this Terraform state file. You can see here is a option is Terraform state file. So here you can see it is blank now. In the resource block, whenever you create any resources, that will be available under this resource block. So now I'm going to create this resource group. So this resource group information will be saved under where? Under this resource block. So let me do one thing. Let me create this resource group for you, and then we'll see how this information is getting stored under this Terraform state file. So let this resource gets created, and then after I'll show you. So basically this Terraform state file is the database for your Terraform. So whenever you create any resources, all the resource information will be available in this Terraform state file. Under this Terraform state file, all the information will be available. So you can see all the information in this Terraform state file. So we'll hold on for a moment, let this resource gets created, and then after, if you see this state file, you will find all the details related to this resource in this state file. So the resource is getting created. So we have to wait for a moment until this resource is not created. So once this resource is created, then we'll see the information. So I'll wait for a moment, let this resource gets created. So basically what I was trying to say, in the Terraform state file, the information of your resources will be available. It means this is the database for your resources which you are going to create using the Terraform, not from the portal, only from this Terraform. So now if you go and see this Terraform TF state file, can you see? I told you, right? Whatever resources you create, it will come under this resource block. So here can you see what type of resource it is? It is a resource group. The name of the resource group is RG. What is the provider? Provider information is also available. The ID of this resource group is available, location is available, name is available, tax is also available. It means whatever information is available related to that resource group, it is available in this Terraform state file under this resources. So Terraform TF state holds the information about your resources which you create from this Terraform. Even if you create a AWS resource also, that information will also come under this terraform.tf state file. So now if you see, it is created, the resource is created. Can you see here? So let's say you are doing some changes from the portal. Let's say I'm removing this tag. What will happen to this resource group? So actually what happens whenever you make any changes from your portal, so it actually sees for your Terraform configuration file. So this is known as desired state and current state. So what is the desired state? So desired state is the state which you are written here. This code is the desired state. So this should be the desired state of your resources. This should be the state of your resources. The tag should be available and the tag should be owner and the name of that tag should be Rahul, which is available here. But what if I remove this tag? I want to remove this tag. Let's say I'm deleting this tag, okay? So I'll go to this resource group and I'll go to the tags and I'll remove this tag. So this tag is here. What I'll do, I'll delete it and I'll put apply. So this becomes the current state. This is the current state of your resources. So now tag is gone. You can see there is no tag to this resource group now. You can see there is no tag, but in your code you have written this tag. So once you do the Terraform plan again, you see what will happen. If you put a Terraform plan, then this Terraform code will match with your Terraform state file. It will match with this file and it will see if there is any changes. If there is any changes, then it will say, it will send the message to you. There is a change that happened from the portal, not from this code. If you remove this code from this, if you remove this tag from this code, then there is no problem because this is the desired state and the current state is the state where where the resources are available. The mode of the resources, this is the current state. At present whatever is the condition of the resource on the portal, that is the current state, and the desired state is the state which you have written the code. So can you see here, it is showing you one to change. What is the change? That tag, because in the code you have written the tag, but someone from the someone who has changed this from the portal, so there should be this change. So this become your desired state and this is your current state. So whenever you run Terraform plan or Terraform apply, basically Terraform tries to push your desired state to become as a current state. It means, see what happens in the next slide, I'll show you. So Terraform ensures that the deployed infrastructure is always based on the desired state. Means whatever is the state you have written in the code, that is the desired state, which I already told you. So Terraform always ensures, like whatever is code written in your, whatever is the code written in your Terraform, you make sure your infrastructure is also updated as per that code. So you should never make any manual changes if you're using the Terraform. You always should use Terraform and you should make the changes from the Terraform. So Terraform ensures that your infrastructure is always deployed on the basis of desired state. And if there is any difference between the two, between these two means your desired state and current state, then Terraform plan pushes the current state to go back to the desired state. Means you can see here in the MAME format I have shown you here. So desired state is pushing the current state to go back to the desired state. So basically it is doing the same thing, right? It is pushing the current state to come back to this desired state. So if you do now Terraform apply, what will happen? Again your current state will be changed to the desired state. So this is all about Terraform state, state. So what happens, see here, now here you see tag is removed, right? But the time you put the Terraform apply, again this tag will be added here. But here you can see already tag is present, now it is added. So what will happen, again the tag will come back to your resource group. So basically it always pushes your code to go to the desired state. Whenever there is a change, it will always push the code to go back to the desired state. So once it is completed, you will see the tags will be available to your resource group. So hope you understood what is the desired state and what is the current state and what is the Terraform state file does. What this Terraform state file does. So basically it holds all the information about your infrastructure. Whatever is the infrastructure created by your Terraform, it holds all the information. One more thing, I have seen people doing some sort of changes in this desired state. Like if you want to change the name of the tag or if you want to change the name of this resource group. So people used to do this. They will delete, maybe sometimes they will delete this block itself. So you should never touch this state file. You should never make any changes from this state file. If you're doing any changes from this state file, then there should be some problem. You will end up with some problem, some errors. So you never destroy or never delete this state file. You never disturb this state file. Whenever you want to make any changes, you use this code and you make the changes. Don't do anything with this state file. Okay. Now, next thing. So, okay, fine. Today, I'm writing this code and this state file is getting created. So where this state file is getting created? So actually this state file is created in my machine in the same folder. If you see where we are creating these files in the same folder, this Terraform state file will also be created. But what if, let's take a scenario like we are three people and we are working for a project. So in that project, we have to create many resources. So is it possible to create 100 resources by a single person? Yes, it is possible, but he may take some time. But there is a very urgency for the customer, and you want to deliver that project as soon as possible. So in that case, you want more resources to work on that project. So you told three more people to work on that project. So together, three people are working on the project. So how they will collaborate, how they will sync up together, because every person will write the Terraform codes, and this TF state file will be available in their machine, right? But for customer you want to create this I mean files, and you want to create this state file and you want to create the infrastructure, but you want everything to be kept in a single location. You don't want to I mean you don't want everything to be kept in a remote, I mean in different machines, because again they have to sync up, again they have to upload this to, maybe let's say you are using Git, then after creation of resources you have to push this Terraform state file to the Git, but again that is very complicated method. So what Terraform suggests you to use the remote state. So what is this remote state? So actually Terraform creates the state file in the local machine, as we already know, and that is not recommended. We should not use it in the local machine because this is a very critical file. Let's say today your laptop is crashed, so entire infrastructure information will be crashed. And in the next iteration, when you start running Terraform, and if you don't have this state file, every resources will be destroyed for you. So we always keep this state file to a remote location, and using this remote location all the teammates can collaborate and work on the same state file. So how to create this remote state? So first what you need to create, you need to create a file with the name backend.tf. So go here and create a new file, and the name should be backend.tf. And then after you use this code and you paste it in this backend.tf. So from where I got this code? I got this code from same our Terraform website. If you go here and Google Terraform Azure backend, then you'll get this code, backend type Azure. Go to this official IO website, and from here itself I took this code. Okay. So for this backend, what you need a storage account where this backend code will be kept and a resource group name. So what I'll do, I'll use my own resource group. I have a resource group. This resource group, I'll use it for this backend. And I need a storage account as well, right? So what I'll do, I'll create a storage account using Terraform itself, and I'll use that storage account. So I'll put it here, storage account with a container. So we need a storage account with a container. Then how we'll create it? storage account with container Terraform. So actually we'll get a code for this storage account, and from here we'll copy this code and we'll put it in the main file. So here you can see it is creating a storage account and it is also creating a container. So I'll copy this code and I'll put it in my main file. I think it is not copied properly. Let me copy it again. So it is copied. I'll remove this tag. I don't want this tag. Okay. So now I have this storage account. So I'll give it as local name as storage. Storage is the local name, and the name of the storage account I'll put it as Raj1411, because this name should be unique. The storage name should be unique. I think you know that. Location rg dot name rg dot location standard and LRS. Great. Then Azure storage container, I'll give the local name as container, and the container name I'll give it as let's say TF backend. I'm giving this name as TF backend. I'll copy this name. Storage account name I'll refer as storage.name. Great. And in the backend I'll put the container name here. Great. Now we have this typo here. Great. So storage account name is Raj1411. Now you save this file, and then you save this file as well. So now you are creating a storage account, and in this storage account you are keeping your state file. So what is the benefit of it? The main benefit of it is, like, see here we have some error in this. Yeah, it is saying you are changing your Terraform's TF state from the local storage to the remote storage. So for that, first you do the Terraform init. So you will do the Terraform init. Then what will happen? The TF state file will be moved from your, I mean, it will recognize you are moving your Terraform state file from your local machine to the backend machine. But here there is some issue. What is the error? It is not able to find this. It is not able to basically find this storage account. So what we can do, first let me create this storage account and then we'll do this. Okay. So first let's create this storage account and then we'll change the backend, because it recommends you to have a storage account, but right now we do not have any storage account itself. So first do the Terraform init, let it be in the remote, I mean in your machine, and then create this storage account. So once this storage account is created, then what we'll do, we'll move this Terraform state file to the backend. So let this storage account gets created and then after we'll move it to the backend. So then after I'll remove this and we'll move it to the backend. So what is the error now? TF backend only lowercase. Okay. So let me make it as lowercase and let me apply it. So whenever you get any error in the Terraform, actually it will show you in which line you have error. So it shows me I have a error and I have an error in line 25. I have mentioned the Terraform backend and only the lower character is allowed. So that is why I was going here and changing this from uppercase to the lowercase. So it's a very good feature of Terraform. Whenever you have any error, go to that line and see what it is saying. It will throw the error and you can remediate that error, and after that you can run the code again and it will work for you. So here you can see how I'm running it. So now it is creating the storage account. So once the storage account is created, then what we'll do, we'll move our Terraform state file from our machine to that backend file, I mean backend, and that backend is this storage account. So still the storage account is getting created. So once it is created, we'll move this backend. So hopefully you are understanding what I'm trying to say. So actually, we are going to move our state file which was available locally to the remote location, and that remote location is a storage account which is created on the Azure, and inside that storage account we have one container. So we are moving our Terraform state file to this container. Which container? I'll show you. Here a container will also be created. So if you see here on this blob service, we have one container TF backend. Great. Now go to our code and go to this backend, remove this commented code and just change this name to TF and save this code. Now if you run this code, or do Terraform init first, because you are going to change your backend. So see, whenever you run the Terraform init, basically it initialize the backend settings. It initialize the Terraform state file, where this Terraform state file is kept. Is it kept in your local machine or is it kept in a remote machine? So that is the use of Terraform init command. So now it is asking you, do you really want to copy the existing state file to a new backend from local to, you are going to a storage account. You give yes. So now successfully your Terraform state file is moved to that remote location. What is that remote location? That is a storage account. So what happens? See, whenever you move your storage, I mean, see here. So the Terraform state file is gone from here and it is moved to this storage account container. Now can you see this? If I open this, you'll be able to find the same file which was available in this Terraform TF state file. Same kind of file will be available. Let's say I want to edit it. So if I go to the edit page, you see here again under the resource block, whatever resources we have created, the first is resource group, next is storage account. So all the details are now kept here. So now whenever other persons also want to create the resources on for same customer, they will also use the same backend setting. They will use this setting, I mean they will use this block, and using this block, whatever resources they are going to create from their Visual Studio code, everything will be created to the same Azure, same subscription, and all the all the information will be kept. I mean, all the Terraform state information will be kept under that storage account backend. Okay. So hope it is clear to you now. Everyone understood this concept. What is this Terraform backend and why do we use this backend? One more thing I just wanted to know. So let's say what happens right now. I'm running the code. I'm creating some resources. Let's say I'm going to create a network now, and what on that same time if any other person is also running the same code. So basically whenever you run the code, at that time this Terraform backend file will be locked. This will be locked. It means only one person can run the, I mean write this Terraform backend file at a time. So at a time only one person is allowed to create any resources. Once his resource creation is done, then you will be allowed to create any resources. So this is how this Terraform backend file works. So hope it is clear to everyone. You understood what is this Terraform state file, what is the Terraform state management, remote state management. everything is clear to everyone. If you have any doubts, then please let me know in the comment box, and please subscribe to my channel, and share these videos with your friends. And thank you so much for watching today's video.